Hi, in this video, we will be creating a simple Hello World application. To start, we want to create some text. So, we select the text tool and adjust the properties as we need. Once we create our object by clicking on the canvas, the object's properties will be displayed. It is important to differentiate between tool and object properties, as well as some of the other properties available in TF-Create, such as keyframe properties, timeline properties, scene settings, and shader properties. These will be covered in later videos. Now that the object is created, we can see that it is quite small on the canvas. Let's increase its size using the font property. You may also notice that the main window has scroll bars. This is because the canvas is too large for the lowest screen resolution I set to make this demonstration video. Let's decrease the canvas size by going to Scene Settings and changing the width to 500 and the height to 400. We can now reposition the Hello World text using the Translate tool. At this point, we can save the scene by clicking Save and typing a name for the scene. We will be using the scene name main with the lowercase m, as that is the name of the scene that will always run first in your application. After saving, you will see the main.tfc scene in the project files window. This window displays all assets currently in your scene. These assets could include scene files, like our main scene, image files, audio files, or even 3D object files. At this point, if we press the play button, you can see our application run. At this point, however, it's not very interesting. Let's now animate the Hello World to make the scene a little more interesting. To do this, we will be using the animation timeline. Let's start by moving the Hello World text out of the screen and setting a keyframe for the X position property at frame 1. I'm now going to move over to frame 20, move the object back into the scene, and add another keyframe. I'm now going to move to frame 41, move the object again, and add another keyframe. You'll notice that I'm only selecting to keyframe the property X. The default is to keyframe all properties for the object, but by selecting only the single property to keyframe, we can keep our scene much neater. I'm now going to go all the way over to frame 60 and adjust the object one more time and add one more keyframe. If you now scrub along the timeline by clicking and dragging, you can see that using keyframes, I made the text zoom in from left to right, slow down, then zoom back out at a higher speed. If we save at this point, go back to the player, and refresh, nothing happens. That's because, although we created an animation, we have not told it to play. This is done through some pre-made scripts, or, if you know how to program, through your own scripts. By clicking New, then Pre-made Scripts, we can add the necessary scripts to our project files. If we click on the Pre-made Scripts folder and open it, then the Animation folder and open it, we will get to the necessary scripts. To use any of these scripts, a single instance of controller.js must be in the scene. We're going to create a null object and attach controller.js to it to satisfy this requirement. To attach a script, select the object you want to attach it to, the script you want to attach, and press the Attach Script button. This controller now shows up as a little square to the right of the object. If we click it, we can see properties specific to this script. The current values for these particular properties is good. Now, let's create an animation and tell it to play when the application initially launches. Select animation.js and our text object and attach the script. If we view the properties for this script, you can see that we have quite a few different options. Unique name's good, start frame's good, but we need to change the end frame to 61. We do want it to autoplay, so that's good. And let's also loop it. The other properties might not be clear, but are more advanced, so we don't have to get into them right now. If we now save our scene, and go back to the player and refresh, we will see our animation in action. You might notice, however, that when the text slows down and speeds up, it does so quite choppily. To fix this, we want to add smoothing to our keyframes. Back in the editor, if we click on frame 21 and go into keyframe properties, we can tell the X property to ease in to frame 21, then go to frame 41 and tell the X property to ease out. If we save again, we will now see this smooth animation in action.